Hi everyone, my name's Isabel Eldred, and today I'll be discussing the preliminary findings of our project exploring student and staff experiences of an online research focused resource library. So, on the back of COVID 19, the importance of effective online learning materials really came to light. And this rings especially true for subjects such as research methods and statistics, which students find inherently difficult, producing negative attitudes, reducing their engagement, performance, and retention. We're also learning that students are preferring interactive, accessible resources, especially in virtual learning environments. That's where open educational resources, or OERs, come in. They are free online learning tools designed for non commercial use, offering a cost effective alternative to traditional textbooks. And we've found that students often perform just as well, if not better, when using OERs in comparison to traditional textbooks. Despite all the positive perceptions around OERs, research has not fully explored factors that support or hinder their adoption, and that's where the current study steps in. It aims to evaluate the effectiveness and perceived value of an online research focused interactive resource library and investigates undergraduate and postgraduate psychology students' engagement with and perceptions of the library, as well as educators' experiences and evaluation of its utility for teaching and research supervision. So, if you cast your eyes to the bottom of the screen, you'll see that we're currently in phase 2 of a much broader project timeline. So, we are at stakeholder feedback 1, and further refinements will occur to the resource before the official launch. So, how did we do this? We used an exploratory qualitative approach, which involved one on one online walkthrough interviews on our sample of 13 students and 2 academic staff, part of the JCU Psychology Department. We also used Qualtrics survey platform to gather consent and demographics before doing a reflexive thematic analysis following Braun and Clark's 2019 framework. So, what did we find in terms of student perspectives? Our preliminary findings revealed 4 overarching themes, the first being information delivery, which can be split into resource layout and contents layout. In terms of the resource layout, participants felt that they preferred a continuous scrolling page where they could use a drop down arrow to reduce or bring up information as necessary. In terms of the overall contents layout, they felt the way it was already intuitive, user friendly, and engaging. When speaking to the level of detail included in the resource, they felt that it had everything they needed and described it as a one-stop shop for everything statistics related. However, when it came to the audience that this resource would be suitable for, participants said that you need to have a good foundational understanding of research methods going into this, otherwise, the content may become overwhelming for beginners as it currently stands. They also spoke to future improvement, such as considering adding a decision tree, glossary, video tutorials, and quizzes to make the resource even more interactive. Now, onto those staff perspectives. So, staff brought up current limitations such as usability issues with file downloads and an overuse of technical jargon. They also spoke to benefits of the library, such as that it can be helpful for promoting independent learning, especially in those students who often struggle with statistics, and that the library has the potential to support teaching and supervision more broadly. In terms of future improvements, they recommended expanding the content beyond what's already there to include things such as research design and qualitative methodology. So, what does all this mean? Our research shows that design matters. An intuitive layout and clear navigation enable engagement, while broken links or file issues create barriers. It's also important to make OERs discipline specific. For example, in this one, it needs to be psychology focused and use statistic scaffolding to make it more useful and user friendly. It also allows students to build resilience, fostering flexible, skills based, self paced learning, which is improving students' confidence and independence. And as we already know, OERs are accessible and sustainable. They work across campuses and year levels using multimedia instead of costly physical textbooks. So, future research should aim to apply this student and staff feedback to OERs and incorporate performance data to measure usage alongside perception, giving us a better understanding of what happens when OERs are really in practice. This is something we hope to do in our future iterations of the project. I want to thank you all so much for listening and provide you the opportunity to ask any questions. I also have my email on the bottom of the screen, so please don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you.